Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Dr. Stacy here. I am so excited to share with you the information today in our 30-minute advanced business training. We're going to jump right in. This week, you were to read chapters 5 and 6. Of course, we really spent a lot of time on 3 and 4 last week, so you could get that foundational piece of the book and what it means to do things in a certain way. So hopefully you've read that and reread it and reread it and reread it and reread it like I've done over the years. But I want to talk just about a few things in chapter 5 and then in 6. And then I want you to put your takeaways in the chat as well too, please. So any takeaway that you have, I would love for you to share that from chapters 5 and 6 or anything that's happened so far since you started reading the book. I know we've had a lot of people that have had some pretty amazing things, people pop into their lives and things have happened that has really been kind of cool, I think. Unexpected, I would say, right? So the first thing is you have to get rid of the old idea that you are supposed to be in poverty. That's the first thing, okay? So we've got to get rid of that idea that you're supposed to be in that. And I love how he ends chapter 6 with that as well, too. So the intelligent substance, which is God, right, which is a conscious living substance, that every living thing must continually grow, continually expand. We are here to learn ourselves, right, grow as a person and to contribute to others, which I love that this chapter is about that. And chapter 6 is about that, contributing to others, adding value. It's just, well, it's divine, right? And so he says that the thing, right, every living thing must continually seek for the enlargement of its life. In the mere act of living must increase itself and forever becoming more. That's us, right? Continues to be all. Intelligence is under this same necessity for continuous increase. Intelligence is God, right? That omnipotent source. Every thought we think makes necessary for us to think another thought. Consciousness is continually expanding. So that is the top of that second page there of chapter 5. Consciousness is continually expanding. That's you, me, right? Our minds. So at the end of that paragraph, he says, in order to know more, do more, be more, we must have more. Let that sink in. We must have things to use, for we learn and do and become only by using things. We must get rich so that we can live more. The desire for more riches is simply the capacity for larger life-seeking fulfillment. Every desire is the effort of an unexpressed possibility to come into action. I want you to write this sentence down, underline it, star it, highlight it, circle it. It took me years to really figure this out. But when you do, it's man. The sentence starts, it is power seeking to manifest, which causes desire. So he just got done saying we must get rich so that we can live more. The desire for riches is simply the capacity for larger life-seeking fulfillment. Every desire is the effort of an unexpressed possibility to come into action. It is power seeking to manifest, which causes desire. It is the desire, go to the bottom of that page, last sentence, it is the desire of God that you should get rich. Like if you do nothing else, meditate on that. It is the desire of God that you should get rich. He wants you to get rich. I'm at the top of the next page because he can express himself better through you if you have plenty of things to use in giving him expression. These may be totally new concepts to you. He can live more in you if you have unlimited command of the means of life. The universe desires you to have everything you want to have. Nature is friendly to your plans. Everything is naturally for you. Make up your mind that this is true. But it's also essential. This is where we come into why we are here in LifeWave. However, that your purpose should harmonize with the purpose that is all. You must want real life, not mere pleasure or sensual gratification. So life in all ways, physical, mental, and spiritual, not just one, all right? So all areas. And I want to skip up a couple pages towards the very end of that chapter. And again, if you want to add your parts that you thought you took away, feel free to drop anything in the chat for everyone else to read. At the bottom of this page, so the chapter ends right here, the bottom of this page right here where the paragraph starts, they are yours today and another's tomorrow. Remember, this is the part I want you to get. Remember, if you are to become rich in a scientific and certain way, you must rise entirely out of competitive thought. You must never think for a moment that the supply is limited. Just as soon as you begin to think that all money is being cornered and controlled by others, and that you must exert yourself to get laws passed to stop this, and so on and so on and so on, the moment you drop into the competitive mind, I need you to listen to me on this. The moment you drop into that, your power to cause creation is gone for the time being. And what's worse, you probably arrest the creative movements you have already began. Know that there are countless millions of dollars worth of gold, right? And all over the world, money is unlimited. Know that money you need will come, even the necessary for thousands and thousands of people to do whatever, right? It will all happen if you stay in the creative. Look always to the limitless riches and formless substance, and know that they are coming. Nobody is cornering the visible supply. And at the bottom of that page, the last sentence, you are causing what you want to be created from formless substance, and supply is without limits. And the top of this page, where he says that certain way, again, you read that on your own. I'm not going to read all that to you, but that should be read and reread and reread and reread over and over again about the thinking stuff, right? And then chapter 6, I love chapter 6. It's all about value. So chapter 5, I'm growing, right? I'm staying in the creative space. That's me. I'm growing. I'm always expanding my mind. And chapter 6 is I'm adding value to others. And he talks about, we're not going to get too much into this, but basically just along the lines that to give, you can give to every person more than you take from him. Okay? That's the big thing you want. You want to give more in value than you're actually taking. When we sign someone up for that core pack and we make $35, we want to give them more in value than we're actually getting in return. That value is an exchange in the universe that says you are doing your part. You're adding more value to someone's life than you're actually taking back in cash value. And the bottom of that second page, okay? He says, when you rise from the competitive to a creative plane, you can scan your business transactions very strictly. And if you're selling any person anything which does not add more value to his life, well, then for an exchange, you can afford to stop that. So you can decide right now, I'm going to give everyone more use value than I take from him in cash value, right? And then you're adding more to the life of the world in every business transaction. So your job is to hold your vision of what you want, right? There's different things they talk about in here with the sewing machine and a house and all that kind of stuff. What do you want? Remember, this was 1910. I don't know if any of you want a sewing machine. Maybe you do. I don't know. But you need to decide that, and you need to hold those visions for what you want in your life. It'll be brought to you by the power of the supreme intelligence acting upon the minds of men, which is at the top of the next page. Whatever you want. The desire of thinking substance for fuller life and better living has caused the creation of all things, right? Whatever people set in motion by desire and faith and by acting in a certain way. And I love this at the bottom of this page down here, where he says, it is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom, said Jesus. Original substance wants to live all that is possible in you and wants you to have all that you can use and will use for the living of the most abundant life. If you fix this desire upon your consciousness, the fact that your desire for possession for riches is one with the desire of the supreme power for a more complete expression, your faith becomes invincible. Invincible. That means unlimited. You can have anything and everything you want. So these are parts that you want to go back and reread again, right? God wants those who can play music or have whatever. He wants you to know the truth and have every single opportunity. because he can feel his expression through all the things that you're able to do. So don't hesitate in asking largely. And the last thing that I'll say about chapter 6 is your part is to focus on and express that desire to God. It is a difficult point with most people. They retain something of the old idea of poverty and self-sacrifice are pleasing to God. And you can see in that chapter, he goes on to say, that is not true. That's false. God does not want you to be poor, that being humble, poor, that doesn't go together. That is not, that you're reading the wrong book if that's what you're taking away from it. So you definitely want to really dive into these 2 chapters again over the next week as you're moving on to the other 2. And I know there's a lot and you're going to be reading this book over and over again, but it's just so foundational. It's like every word, to me anyways, is so impactful in this book. It really is. And like I've said, I've been reading it for over 20 years and it never gets old. It just never, and it just like drives these facts into your subconscious mind. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like business has been exploding all year long. Like we have grown leaps and bounds, literally. I don't know about you. For those of you that were here last year, my income has literally doubled from last year to this year. Doubled, right? Business is blowing it out of the water, okay? People are coming in droves because they want what we have. They want the products. They want this business. They want this opportunity. And it's here. And they're coming in. They are. Are they coming into your business? Are you open to them coming into your business? Are you willing to maybe let go of some of your old beliefs, your limiting beliefs, and open up to a new way of thinking? The basics are the basics, you guys. They really are. And we're going to talk about for the next 15, 18 minutes, the basics of how I have built my business and what I still do to build my business today. And though that we're going to talk about that for the next 15 minutes, you guys can ask all the questions you want, of course, about this. But I want you to know that the work is so easy. It is so easy. The work is so easy. It is not hard. Like Brent and Trey will always say, God, you repeat the same thing over and over and over again. You say the same things. And I'm like, yeah, I do. It's not that hard. We just repeat the same things. I can literally repeat it without even thinking about it. I literally can. I could literally be right here on a Zoom talking about, well, X39 activates your stem cells. And so you elevate GHK, blah, 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 and I could be reading something else on this screen in front of my face at the same time that I'm spitting out the words. Like it's just the same thing we say over and over again. Practice. It's how we get there, right? We have to practice what we're doing. I didn't do that on day 1, but over 3.5 years, I mean, I've obviously listened to David enough times and shared it enough times. It's ingrained in my brain. It was so funny. Gary Humbird, Superman Gary, and I were texting this morning and we were talking about this, you know, just the excitement and everything. And he said, Barb says in my sleep, I talk about signing people up and following up with people. And I'm, yes, make sure you drink your water. And he's just going on and on about all the stuff that Barb hears him say in his sleep. Because we've just done it. We've said it a million times. So I promise you, the work in LifeWave is not hard. This is the challenging part for you. This is the part that you're either going to be successful or you're not, if you're going to get this or not. But you got to do the work. Like you don't just sit back and go, and then it all just pops into your life, right? And I know, Think and Grow Rich, I get it. It's all in your mind, right? You can't, we literally could not work the hours right now, the money that we're making, the money that I've made, the Marcy made over this last year, many of you have made, I can't work enough hours to actually make that look normal, right? So we've leveraged our time, right? We've thought our way to riches in a certain way. We've created this massive organization of hundreds of thousands of people, right? Because of our thoughts and our desires and that faith, that blind faith that we are going to go and people are going to join. But the work we do is the same thing every single day. And I'm not going to get too much into all the, beginning stuff because of course we've got that everywhere, right? Make your list, blah, blah, blah. I want to talk about today our patching parties, because that is how I have grown my business. And so I want you to really get a visual on this. Stacy, 3.5 years ago, watched one video of David Schmidt, went to see him in person, blown away, loved it, right? Knew I was going to tell the world, didn't know I was going to jump into the business side of it. Was just going to tell everybody, because who wouldn't tell everybody about activating stem cells? That's a genius idea, right? Affordable, whatever. Okay, so I listened to Beamy and Amy at the very end mention this their little success tip as presidential directors they were 3.5 years ago. And a little light bulb flipped on and said, there must be money to be made here. Those two ladies, they're making money. There must be something. And then, of course, that's how I got connected to Marcy. Obviously, the biz site, watched the video, read the comp plan, saw her on Zoom, done, I'm in, go. So what does go mean? This is where you are right now. You heard go, right? You've already used the patch, you get it, you've seen some videos, you heard some stuff, right? Go. Go means that I make that list of people and I get on my calendar immediately patching parties, wellness webinars, exposing Zooms, whatever you want to call them. I don't care. But in the beginning, Peter said BLD, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We build our business breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, dinner was the 9 p.m. patching podcast that we still have 2 days a week. Back then we had it 4. Breakfast and lunch meant I was doing my own Zooms. Marcy wasn't doing Zooms with me. I was doing my own Zooms on day one. Day one, brand new, Stacy, Zoomer, let's go. What did I do? I made the list and I contacted people and I said, oh my God, I've just found the Holy Grail of healing. Get on this Zoom with me at 11 a.m. and I'm going to share more with you. What did I do at 11 a.m.? I'm on a Zoom. I'm on a computer. I'm going to show you what I did. Okay? They can't see my screen. They're just looking at me. On my screen, I have this in front of me. I'm brand new. I don't know anything, but I can read. For the love of God, I can read. Can I not read? You can read. We all can read. You're reading the book. So I would sit right here in front of them, and you guys can see my screen, right? You can see this. I can see you across the top. You can see I'm sharing screen. And I would say, okay, let me talk to you a little bit about this patch that I just found, right? Literally just discovered this. And I would read this. Well, as we age, our stem cells decline in their ability to function and heal our bodies. This LifeWave stem cell activation patch, it's actually clinically proven to provide the body with a level of health and vitality that many people haven't experienced in years. So you're probably wondering, what's the secret, right? Why did you invite me here, Stacey? What's the secret? Well, it's an exclusive patented proven phototherapy non-transdermal patch that's safe, non-invasive, and easy to use. See? LifeWave's X39 has over 80 clinical studies and over 20 years of research. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just reading. That's it. I swear to God, this is all I did at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. And then we would join the 9 p.m. every day. And I did this Monday through Friday, every single day, 5 days a week, every day for 6 months. And then, of course, I would, finish up reading, right? And I would say, I'm going to send you this health tracker, and you're going to be able to fill this out so you can track your progress. So they knew that you're going to track your progress at least 90 days. I'm not sharing screen with them, just by the way. You are seeing what I'm seeing. But you can be on a Zoom, and you can have this screen up, and you are looking at the participants, and they do not see that you're reading this. So now as I stop screen sharing, I can literally still have that in front of me right now and read it, and you don't even know it. You have no idea. You wouldn't believe how many times I've had things on the screen that I'm reading and that I'm just sitting here talking to you guys like I'm just talking to you, and I'm sharing and I'm reading. It is not that difficult. So that's how I did in the beginning, because the health tracker is the only tool that I've ever needed to talk about stem cell activation. I still use it. I have prospects, people I'm talking to every day. They want to know, how does this work? Let me send you a quick PDF. I am not going to be the expert for them, right? I'm not an expert. I'm close-ish, right? I'm not David, but I can dive right in there. I'm not going to do that. I want to use this tool because then they can see the tool, they can read the tool, and they think, I can share that. I can share a tool. A tool is duplicatable. Is it not? Anyone can duplicate a tool. That is how I've done my patching parties. Now, today, obviously, I can rattle all this stuff off, right? Because I've said it 5 million times. 5 million times, maybe 10 million. I don't know. Maybe 100 million. I've said it so many times in 3.5 years. But when I was starting, that's all I did. And we get people together in person. We did 2 in-person patching parties, and still to this day, everyone gets a clipboard with the health tracker on it. They have that product summary sheet, and they have the order form. I don't do anything different than I did 3.5 years ago. I don't. Now, if they want to dive down rabbit holes with me, of course I can, because I've just read and listened and I've heard enough over the years. But in the beginning, I would say, you know what? I don't know. Let me text Marcy. April's my sponsor, and she wasn't even going to do anything with the business until I told her I was. And then she's like, oh God, if you're doing it, because she was in my upline in the last company, she goes, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it if you're doing it. I'm like, I am now. This is too good to pass up. We're not missing this opportunity, right? I mean, when God knocks, you go. And that's me, right? I said that to one of my friends this morning. We were in our last company together, and she's decided now to build here and really, grow a business. And I said, when God speaks, I run, girl. And I'm run, and I do. And I have been running for 3.5 years, and I'm not going to stop. And I'm bringing everybody with me that wants to go, because this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Do not overcomplicate it. Read the health tracker, send the health tracker, show the health tracker, use that all products flyer, whatever you want to call the summary sheet, whatever, and an order form. Keep it simple. But I promise you, patching parties are still what I do. When I have a brand new distributor, I just launched one last night. We had our own private 30-minute Zoom patching party, and she invited her guest. And I showed her, because we were there a little early, and I showed her the health tracker. And I said, this is what I'm going to do, because this is how you're going to be able to duplicate this. Okay? She's brand new. Been using the patches for on and off for a couple years, but brand new, wanting to share now because she's having such great results and all kinds of things, right? And so anyway, we go, and she has people that show up. And then I say, no, I'm going to email you the health tracker, and you're going to send it to your guest. And then the ones that couldn't make it, you send it to them. You say, hey, I know you couldn't make it to the party tonight. Here's the information that was shared. I want you to fill out the health tracker. And then let's set up a time. When would be a good time for us to have a conversation about this and me helping you get started on your health journey? Like, that's it. 30 minutes, done. And then she goes and follows up, right? So you launch your new people, and you launch your own business every day. You're sharing with people every day. You're inviting people every day to something. And I want to be honest with you guys, you need to create. Yes, Marcy has patching parties. She has the office training. Yes, we have podcasts. Yes, we have, the Tuesday night, whatever. We have things, which is amazing. But I promise you, a big part of growing a business and developing into a leader and stepping into these leadership levels is doing it yourself. You don't need all the answers. You don't have to have everything perfect. I had another new brand partner, and she was like, okay, so, I'm going to need this presentation. I'm going to need to have, I said, no, you're not. There is no presentation we need to do. We are not spending weeks or months on this. This is the paper. You're going to do this. Create a time, literally this exact conversation, 11, 3, and then we jump on the 9 or the 8 o'clock. That's it. And she goes, okay, that's it. I said, yes. And you can do that starting tomorrow, because I came home on a Saturday afternoon, evening, and started my Monday morning Zoom at 11 a.m. I spent all day Sunday inviting, and boom, go. We ran. I went from zero, knowing nothing about LifeWave, to 6 months later, a presidential director, making over $20,000 a month. 3 times a day I was on Zoom. That is 1.5 hours. Surely you have 1.5 hours in your day to be on Zoom, but I promise you, some of it needs to be you. Go to zoom.us, get yourself a free Zoom account, partner up with a buddy, right? Grab a buddy, grab a downline, a brand new person, or grab a sideline, or maybe grab your upline if they're available. Ask somebody to buddy up with you, and you guys can do these together. And you don't have to do 2 or 3 a day, okay? You can do 1 a day. But think about this. If I have a full-time job, and I want full-time pay, right? So let's just say that full-time pay, let's just pretend it's $1,000 a week. Okay, that $1,000 a week full-time pay, how many hours am I going to have to work? How many hours am I going to have to work to get that $1,000 out of my boss? Am I going to have to work 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day to get $1,000 bucks? I mean, seriously, think about that. What if you spent 6 or 8 hours a day in your LifeWave business? Oh my God, I'm going to guarantee you'd be making more than $1,000 a week. You'd be making that a day. Okay? A day. So think about your time, plan your time. I know it's the holidays. Great, fantastic. You get to see more people. That's what the holidays mean. I'm around more people. I'm at parties, I'm at soirees, I'm at Christmas family gatherings. I'm going to, donate my time here. I'm meeting with philanthropists there, la la la, fundraisers, all the things. There's lots going on, lots of opportunities for you to slap a patch on your chest and talk to new people, meet new people, get their phone numbers, and invite them to your next Zoom. No one is so busy that they don't have time for a couple 30-minute Zooms a day, right? And again, you can make your own time, your own Zooms on your time. So that's what I did. For me, the 11 o'clock worked great, the 3 o'clock worked great, and we plugged in to the 9 o'clock. And that's what we did. And we still do that, you guys. We still do that. Nothing has changed. The only thing is we're making more money because we've stayed consistent. We understand that leaders are readers. We read, we grow. Our senior presidential directors and presidential directors, we have a meeting once a month. We're starting a different book, a book club for us. We're always reading and growing because your mind is the only limit. And you just don't know things exist until you do, until you expand your consciousness and awareness. And when you expand that awareness, new things that you never saw before start to show up. I'll never forget when I was in my last company and I wanted to be at the top of the company, right? And I was newer, right? I had just discovered the business side of that company and I wanted to be at the top. And I remember there was a training, a big, they called it a boot camp, a big boot camp. And I went, and all the girls that were at the top of the company, there were like 12 of them, were lined up together, taking their picture outside with their Louis Vuitton bag on their shoulder. And if you were this top of the company, then your upline bought you a Louis Vuitton bag. And I thought, that must mean success. For some reason, I had no idea back in 2010 that Louis Vuitton existed. I've come a long way in 15 years. Made up for it. I had no idea that that existed 15 years ago, but I could tell that meant something that was of success, and I didn't know what, so I found out. I'm like, what is Louis Vuitton? Where is this? What does this cost? Oh my God. Okay, well, when I get to that level, I'm buying myself one of those bags. And of course, I achieved that later on that year. And I'm like, boom, I'm going to go get that. And Brent's like, you're spending what on a purse? Are you serious? And I said, yes, I am. I earned it. I deserved it. I worked hard for it. That's what I wanted. So whatever that means for you, but you've got to expand your awareness. You have to expand your mind. And it happens through reading, and it happens through being open to God living his fullest expression through you. And he does that through the places you go, the people you meet, the things you see, the things you do, the people you contribute to, that fullest expression. And you do that with faith, unwavering faith. You will be invincible and you will be able to achieve all your goals and dreams. It does not matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter how old you are. Don't care about your past, your background. None of that matters. The only thing matters is the present moment right now. Where am I now? Where do I see myself in the future? Am I going to step into my God-given abilities? Am I going to live the fullest expression of myself through God and experience the world and add value to people? Those are questions only you can answer for yourself, right? And I have done that in LifeWave and do that in LifeWave by doing patching parties. I keep it so stinking simple. Just keep it simple. Do the same thing over and over again, right? I don't expect a different result. I expect the same result. It's worked. It has worked for 3.5 years. Probably add that up. It's worth more than $3.5 million. I'll be honest. It has worked and it continues to work, and it works for people in my organization or we wouldn't be growing as big as we are, right? And I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm not saying that at all. Anybody can do whatever they want to do. They can build their business however they want to build it. Find what works for you. But this has been the massive tool that has worked for me to grow my business. Quick 30-minute patching parties over and over and over and over. You will become an expert because you will get used to saying the same things over and over again, and you'll be like Superman, and you'll just keep repeating them in your sleep. And then people just fall out of the sky and they drop into your business every week, every day. They're just dropping into your business because you are living your life in a certain way. And you are a magnet for this because you want it, you've desired it. And you can have anything you desire if you believe. So, thank you guys for being here this afternoon. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday as we dive into another topic. And of course, make sure that you read chapters 7 and 8 next week. And thank you for all of you that contributed to the sharing of your successes and on all the things that you've done. If you have questions, I know I didn't get to read all of them in here, but if you have questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you have if I didn't get those answered for you guys. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Have a good evening.